Experience a taste of luxury right here in southern Indiana. Today we're in West Baden, Indiana at the West Baden Springs Hotel. We're here for the behind the scenes tour, which should be so interesting. This was once considered the 8th wonder of the world. This hotel is more than a century old, and it is a National Historic Landmark. It's also listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Beginning in 2006, this hotel was totally renovated back to its former grandeur. As you drive up this brick driveway, you feel like you're in the south of France or somewhere in Europe. And then you walk into this atrium, and it literally takes your breath away. This is why it's considered the 8th wonder of the world. This circular-shaped hotel has this atrium in the middle that spans 200 feet. The circular 200-foot dome had never been done before. This was quite an engineering feat for when it was built in 1901. While we visited there, they were repairing some of the roof that had been damaged from hail. It was a massive project. And look at this mosaic tile floor. It was absolutely stunning. And then you walk into the lobby where you check in. And this too had the mosaic tile floor and a mini dome roof. It was absolutely stunning. And as you turn around, you see the check-in desk where you actually check in to the hotel. This hotel has 243 luxury guest rooms and suites. We made our way over to the beautiful rockwood fireplace, 20 feet wide, 11 feet tall, made of beautiful rockwood pottery. This was installed in 1917 and is quite a sight to see. And here is more of those beautiful mosaic floors. It's something to see in person. And then we went into the museum to see the history of this beautiful place. Each era of the hotel had a wall with pictures describing what happened during that era. At one point, it was owned by the Jesuits. And another point, it was Northwood Institute, which is where Keith went to college. And this is actually where his dorm room was, and some pictures of him in his college days. He has some stories to tell about this place. When Keith attended college here, it was in pretty bad disrepair, nothing like today.
June 14th, 1901, disaster. A devastating fire swept through the grounds, leveling several buildings and dashing Sinclair's dreams. Spurred on by his daughter, Lee Sinclair decided to rebuild, but in a most spectacular fashion. He would build a hotel centered around the world's largest free-span dome, and do it in less than a year. An amazing feat that resulted in an amazing structure that soon became known as the 8th wonder of the world. Lee Sinclair was already planning a major hotel renovation when he died in 1916. His daughter Lillian and her husband Charles Rexford pressed on with the work, and a year later, the Grecian court style that we see in the atrium today came to be. With World War I raging, Lillian leased the hotel to the U.S. Army for use as a hospital in 1918. Time to turn West Baden back into a hotel, Lillian Sinclair sold it to Ed Ballard. Ballard made more improvements and attracted more convention business. West Baden was on a roll. Until the crash. The guests disappeared within days. Ballard hung on until the fall of 1931 when he closed the doors of the empty hotel for good. With no buyers in sight, Ed Ballard sold West Baden to the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, for $1. The Jesuits had made West Baden their own until 1962, when the cost of upkeep became too much for them. The hotel sat vacant until 1966 when Northwood Institute moved in and set up a college program that included hotel and restaurant management study. Northwood had a 17-year run until the cost of maintaining that magnificent dome structure got the better of them as well.
We then began our 2-hour behind-the-scenes tour.
Behind-the-scenes tour of the West Baden Springs Hotel. My name is Dan. I am going to be your guide today to this historic hotel. This, the West Baden Springs Hotel, is Indiana Landmark's greatest rescue to date. This structure was built between the summers of 1901 and 1902, completed in under a year. In the winter of 1991, a few months shy of the abandoned hotel's 89th birthday, a large section of the outer ring of the hotel collapsed. That would be everything on the opposite side of this wall, going all the way down the sliding glass doors of the marquee entrance. Boom. Landmarks came with a contractor, put in bracing and shoring, and stabilized the structure. Now, one reason Indiana Landmarks did this is because this property is a registered National Historic Landmark, which is a federal program that honors and recognizes architecturally and historically significant sites and structures in our nation, and Landmarks is not going to see a national treasure fall apart.
Our tour started out in the Atrium, where our guide told us about some of the history of the hotel and how it came to be. He then took us out to the veranda where we walked around and he talked about the springs. The mineral springs is what drew people to this place, and it's why they built this in the first place. And later in the video, Keith and I will walk around and look at these springs. He then took us into the library, and this is where in the 1900s the gentlemen would come and smoke their cigars and drink their brandy and talk about the world, politics, and etc., while the women would meet and socialize elsewhere. We then went into the main hotel lobby, and he talked about how this was used as the chapel when the Jesuits were here, with all the stained glass. The original glass was stolen, but this is replicas of what was there when the Jesuits had this building and used this as their chapel. Then we got to see what was Mr. Sinclair's office. And we got to see outside the office to see the pool, and that was the view that he had. His office consisted of 2 huge rooms. Wouldn't you like to have an office like this? We then went to the hallway for the spa and pool, and look at that beautiful mosaic tile. These are pictures of artwork that was found when they did renovations. These were found in the top of the dome. They are still there to this day, and it is still unclear how they got there and who did the artwork. Then we made our way to the dining room. This is Sinclair's. This is the formal dining room, and it's located to the left as you enter. Then on the right is the more informal cafe, where you could go and have breakfast, lunch, or brunch. I could have stood there and looked at these ceilings all day. They were absolutely gorgeous. They had some gorgeous antique furnishing pieces. Then we made our way to table 1. This is where you could have your own private dining experience. You could have this experience for anywhere from 4 to 10 people, and you would actually get to sit in this private room. And when they turned the lights on, you could then see the chefs in the kitchen preparing your meal. It was truly a unique experience, and we were told it was very expensive. So this is something you would do on a special occasion. During our tour, we were able to see the various conference rooms that they had downstairs. Then we were taken upstairs and able to see 2 of the guest rooms. The first guest room had a seating area as you entered, and then you went down a hallway to see the bathroom. And then at the end of the hall was the bedroom. The bedroom's furnishings were beautiful, along with the light fixture. So pretty. We were told that all of the rooms have Bowls mattresses. Those are supposed to be the best mattresses that you can buy. The carpet in the hallway had compasses, and they were accurate as far as where they were pointed. The second guest room that we were able to see is where they filmed the movie So Cold the River. It was based off of a book, and it was filmed in this room. That is why the decor of this room is different than the decor of some of the other rooms, because it was made specifically for the movie. So it's kind of dark and mysterious, just like the movie. And this is the view of the atrium from this room. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you can ask specifically to stay in this room. If you would like to stay at this hotel, we actually have an affiliate link in the description of this video. And if you click it, we make a small commission if you decide to stay at this gorgeous hotel. This is a room that they used back in the early days of the hotel, where you could come and get a haircut and a shoe shine. Then we were taken by our tour guide up to the 6th floor, where we could stand out on the balcony and take video and pictures. It was unbelievable. So beautiful. And the trusses that are steel in this dome are from 1901 when this was built. They are the very same and have not been replaced. This place is unbelievable. It's up in the center of this white cylinder in the dome where those paintings are located that we showed you earlier. That white cylinder, they're up inside there. When Keith attended college here, it was still impressive, but it was nothing like you see today. This is totally renovated and so gorgeous. After our 2-hour tour had completed, Keith and I decided we were going to take a walk around the grounds. We wanted to look at those springs, the mineral springs that drew people here all those years ago. We took a walk down to the sunken garden. It was immaculate and so gorgeous. This is actually where Keith had his college graduation in 1975, right here down in this garden area. There were 4 mineral springs that drew people to this area. This one is the Apollo, which is number 3. We got to walk up into this, and people used to go and step down into and be able to sit there in the spring. This spring number 7 is under renovation at the moment because it gets flooded. The Hygeia is spring number 1, and we were able to walk inside there as well. They've closed up the spring now where you can't actually go in and get water like they did back in the day. But this is what drew people to this place all those years ago. They felt that this mineral water had healing properties. And then we walked around the grounds. Keith used to play baseball in the field back there, and we wanted to see if it was still there. And sure enough, it was. And there is the spring water that we were able to walk over. The seal fountain used to be in the middle of the atrium inside the hotel. Now it stands outside toward the parking area. We decided to take another trip on that veranda. It is so beautiful, and we could imagine people coming here, gathering from all over, coming to this fantastic hotel to get the benefits of what they thought was healing mineral water. People like Al Capone and former presidents have stayed here in this hotel. There is so much history here. We highly recommend taking one of their tours. We love this old clock. You can also get a shuttle bus to take you to the other resort. We highly recommend this place. If you would like to see more of our videos, click the video that just popped up on your screen.